Hello everybody and welcome back to Animal Crossing City Folk. Today I can tell these flowers are wilting, but I think these ones are too. Yeah, I waited a little too long to record. In my defense, I was waiting for a video to finish exporting. And, well, it just finished. Not long ago. It finished long ago enough, I got it uploaded to YouTube. That's about how long it's been since my video finished exporting. And I've still yet to get around to any editing on the new series. I've wanted to for days, I've just not had the time because of everything else. Tonight I might be able to. It is still a might. I really want to. Trust me, I really do. Like, I've wanted to have that series out for a few days now. Like, honestly, since I recorded the first 2 episodes, I've wanted to get them edited and out. But, as I mentioned, I wanted 4 episodes recorded, so I had some level of buffer. Because that gives me basically 4 days to record more. And, you know, that's a decent amount of time to be able to find time to record more. I mean, I suppose my biggest problem is literally I'm trying to fit everything I do into a 6-hour window, where 2 to 3 hours of that is almost always used up by streaming. I honestly, I think I need to just start editing when I get up. But that's going to make getting up a pain, because part of what I do when I get up is I do things to just kind of relax while I wake up. I can't really do that if I'm editing. I mean, editing is pretty relaxing, but not the kind of relaxing I want to be doing when I first wake up. I think these ones are wilting. I hate not being able to see things this time of day. I know I probably should have just waited, but we have company coming over in like 2 hours. Well, they'll be outside in about 2 hours, and they'll be here whenever my mother wakes up. I don't think any of these are wilting. All of you are probably like, no, you're going past so many wilting flowers. And I'm probably. Hey, Nana. Hello there, kiddo. Zoom. Out for a little walk? On a sunny day like this, I think I could just sit and stare up at the sky all day. Well, kiddo, what do you say, Popo? Yeah, I know how to do that. But okay. Yeah, I don't... Okay, that's clearly weed. It's so nice. It's such a vivid color. Let's check over here, see if there's anything on the bulletin board. There probably isn't, but yeah, no, nothing on the bulletin board. Hey, Coco's observing a rock. Oh, hello, darling. How are you doing today? I saw someone standing by the bridge earlier. I wonder who it was. I haven't seen him before. At least not that I can remember, gotta go fast. I wasn't comfortable talking to him, so I kinda just acted like I didn't see him there, and I left. Oh. So, Pascal's in town. Oh, there he is! Teach me to come across the other bridge. We had a scallop on the beach. I'm gonna go see if I can grab that and give it to him, so we can get more of the pirate set. I think it was closer to our house, but I'm gonna check all along. It might be gone. Because I think these shuffle occasionally. Oh, here it is. Scallop. Pascal likes his scallops. I like scallops. Scallops are tasty. I think I've mentioned this before, but I actually grew up in a town that's known for scallops. To the point where literally people come from around Atlantic Canada to buy Digby scallops. Man, breathing air feels pretty good. Hey, can I share something with you? Okay. You ever been to Idaho, man? It's crazy. Right on. Hey, hook an otter up with a scallop, would you, man? Okay. Look, man, this here, I'm giving it to you. And he's off. To float down the river. We're just gonna quickly see what that was. Oh, keg again. He gives us a lot of kegs. You have a thing for kegs, Pascal? I'm gonna follow him down the river. I want to see where he ends up. I feel like I should slightly continue what I was talking about yesterday. And mostly I just want to point out more good games that are the style of game I like. They're all old. They're all very old. One I've actually not played much of because I'm still trying to get the settings on my DOS box to work properly. Yes, it's a DOS game. That's clearly a weed. Is High Seas Trader. It is a remarkably good game. Is he actually gonna go off the waterfall? Or is he just gonna kinda sit here? There he goes. I can't follow him now. I think he went under the water anyway. But High Seas Trader is really good. It gets boring after a while. Like, I basically was playing it in hyperspeed, so it didn't get boring as fast for me, but that's because I can't figure out how to get the frame rate to slow down on DOSBox. And I've just yet to have the time to fiddle with it and Google and, you know, figure things out. Another, and this is gonna sound really weird, it's a Disney game. Treasure Planet Battle at Procyon. I believe it's on Steam. It's basically sailing ships in space. And the combat in, say, skirmishing plays like a World of Warships type game. But it's an old PC game. As in, I think our copy of it says compatibility for Windows XP. So yeah, that should tell you how old it is. Yeah, let's talk with Benedict, because we're right here. Hiya, bros! I've been looking everywhere for you, voila! Best furniture is bed-like stuff, because all you gotta do is plop it down anywhere. And all of a sudden, the entire place becomes like a bazillion times comfier, voila! Hey, bros, do you think you could find a piece of bed-like furniture for me, please? Leave it to me. If you'd said no, I would have been all deflated like a squished marshmallow. So thanks for helping me out. Fair enough. I'm actually trying to think of a few other games that are the style of, like, sailing ship games that I like that are actually good. Tempest. Oh, how could I have forgotten about Tempest? Tempest is a really good sailing ship game with a good helping of mythology. For instance, there is an area on the map where it's meant to be kind of Asia inspired, and there are Chinese dragons in the water. It's really nice. Could give him the sleeping bag, but no, I'll give him the classic bed. I don't know why he wants a bed, but we'll give Benedict the classic bed. Yeah, I'd honestly myself, if anyone watching this is interested in, like, sailing ship games and wants one that you can either choose to move via a map or literally sail from point A to point B, it does take a while. Tempest all the way. I mean, it has some DLC to it. From the stuff I've played, the Asian-inspired one is part of a DLC. I actually got it for free, I think. It's the classic bed furniture I was dreaming about. Well, thank you so much. When you have my robo chair as a way of thanking you for your mad furniture skills. Okay, we have a robo chair to sell. because I'm probably going to sell it. And check the turnip prices. So I don't want to forget to check those. And I'm going to make absolutely sure I watered our turnip. I need to look at some point and see... Actually, no. I did actually buy the Asia DLC. I'm just, like... I have to stop and think about things like that, because I have randomly received DLC on Steam for free. For things that I shouldn't have got it for free. Like, for instance, with Borderlands 2. At some point, I was just kind of given the Ultimate Vault Hunter DLCs. Both of them. 67, that's not high enough. So, like, I never bought those. No one ever bought them for me. They just appeared in my Steam library. And I don't know why, but I'm not gonna argue with it. Because, well, hey, it's free stuff. That would have cost me like 20 bucks without it. So, you know. I mean, hey, maybe it gave them to me because the game has gotten so cheap these days, and I bought it for full price. Which is always insulting, and why, honestly, I'd say if you can wait to buy a AAA game, do. Within a year or two, it's going to have its price basically cut in half. And you're not going to get anything for playing it immediately, other than the fact that you've played it immediately. Like, that's the only thing you gain, is being able to play it sooner. And I mean, I guess if you have the money to just kind of, well, throw away, then sure, buy games day one. But I'd honestly never recommend it. Not unless you know that the game is never going to change in price. Like, some random early access games, yeah, you may as well just buy them for whatever price they are. If anything, they're likely to get more expensive as time goes on. I mean, there will always be sales, but... like... It honestly annoys me that I could buy Borderlands 2's, the complete edition of Borderlands 2 for the same price I bought the game for. Like, that is frustrating. And it's very anti-consumer because, well, the way games survive, like game series survive, is their day one sales. If it doesn't sell well within like the first day or the first week, that game is probably not going to get a sequel. But you get a ton of customers like me who have quite honestly been quite scorned by... Oh, I actually just noticed something. I'm going to stop here. It's coming on night, so that's slowly creeping in. I never noticed that before. Oh, that's pretty cool. But you get customers like me who have been so scorned from buying games on release to then a year or even sometimes a month down the road, these games have their price tag cut in half. Or they go on sale for like 60 to 80%. Who, honestly, I refuse to buy new games when they're brand new. Unless it's something like Pokemon. And I mostly only do that because, well, I don't... I don't trust stores to still have stock of a Pokemon game. But when it comes to something that's going to get released on Steam, I don't have to worry about the game's stock being out. You know. With Nintendo, you kind of have to worry about that. I mean, with them releasing all of them on the eShops, it's nice, but then you have to worry about the storage on your DS or whatever you're playing Pokemon on. And, yeah. And then you can't really play it on different DSs, so if your DS dies before you can back everything up, you lose having bought the game, because if you just log into your Nintendo account on something else, it doesn't care. At least as far as I understand. My 3DS is never broken. So, I literally still have an original, like, first run North American 3DS. It is dying. Oh, this is clearly a weed. It's Circle Pad. The rubber cover has kind of worn away, and I've glued it back into position, but I haven't really used it since I did that, so I don't know how well the glue is gonna hold. Because, I mean, it was just like Elmer's clear glue. So, I mean, it's probably not gonna hold that well. But yeah, like, new games are such an anomaly. Because there are a ton of consumers like me who will refuse to buy a brand new game fresh from, you know, the store shelves kind of thing. Because I know it's gonna get cheaper. I'm going to wait for it to get cheaper and then buy it then. And depending on what service you're buying the game from, the developer might not actually be seeing even a penny from me buying their game. Meaning I may as well have just torrented it. Like, that's kind of the quandary I tend to run into. Because, like, for instance, if I'm buying a game via Humble Bundle, the only advantage to me doing that is I own those games. Like, if I'm buying a Humble Bundle kind of thing. Because usually, myself, I tend to not buy anything more than the dollar tier of a Humble Bundle because I just don't have the money for anything higher. And I also tend to go in and literally change things so my entire dollar goes to charity. Not to Humble, not to the developers, to charity. That's the idea, is to give money to charity. So why would I want my singular dollar to go to anything but the charity? I mean, it's only $1. If I gave more, I wouldn't be changing the sliders around any. But, you know, I have the option to go, you know, my money doesn't go to anybody but this charity. So it's not like I'm buying the game from the developer anyway. Which, honestly, that itself raises an interesting question about piracy. When does using a service like Humble become piracy? Is it when you're getting the game, but you're not paying the developers? That's the definition that people are using for video game piracy, or movie piracy. You're getting a product without any money going back to the original creator. So does that mean buying things through Humble is piracy? Even though I'm getting legitimate copies of games? I mean, honestly, that, you know, you'd figure that would be more harmful than me outright just pirating a game. Because now I'm getting a legitimate copy, but I haven't paid for it. At least with a pirated copy, it's not a legitimate copy of the game. Which makes it nigh impossible to update. If it's something like a Bethesda game, it makes it nigh impossible to mod. I mean, at this point, I imagine anyone who's pirated Fallout 4 really can't use mods anymore because Nexus Mod Manager is going to be looking for the newest version of Fallout. And the newest version is based on whatever Creation Club version has most recently released. Which pirated versions of the game don't even care about. They don't even look at the Creation Club. It's literally not even a part of a pirated copy of Fallout 4. I should know. I pirated it a while back. Yeah, I admitted it. I don't own it anymore. I had my fun with the game, realized it wasn't really worth buying, and deleted it. And I honestly don't think I will ever buy Fallout 4. It's just not a great Fallout game. Doesn't give me much confidence for Fallout 76 either. Because that just looks like Fallout 4, but multiplayer. And I don't like it. Like, the thing, honestly, that has driven me further away from Fallout 76 is hearing that they brought back armor durability for just general armor. But you have to repair it with things like cloth and adhesive and, you know, the stuff you would use to upgrade it in 4. You have to repair it with those resources. Thus, meaning you're going to have to loot more random things if you want to use light armor. But if you're a light armor character, you're probably low strength. Thus, you don't have much carrying capacity, which means you're carrying a bunch of junk around and likely no weapons to change up your playstyle any. But then again, it's going very MMO-y. Fallout 4 was already very MMO-y. The only weapon worth using in the entirety of that game was the Gauss rifle. So I imagine 76 will go the same way, where the only weapon worth using will be the literal highest damage weapon. Like, I suppose, mini nukes and missile launchers were worth using, like Fat Man and mini missile launchers. But, like, your little snub-nosed revolver, worthless. I don't even think at maximum skills into one-handed pistols, you would outdamage a Gauss rifle. And it has more shots and fires faster. And more accurately, at longer ranges. Like, Fallout 4 is not a balanced game. It honestly feels like modders made it. Because modders don't tend to make very balanced weapons. And yeah, I'm just spending some time today making money and talking about things. Because I can't really see anything, so I've probably walked past the fossil. And I would love to dig it up, but I don't know where it is. But yeah, I do legitimately wonder what could constitute piracy these days. Like, every little thing that constitutes piracy. Because as far as the definition I have always heard, it is basically, to summarize it, but still using mostly kind of legal speak, it is basically gain possession of a product without paying really anybody for it. And technically, if you go on Humble Bundle and you give all of the money to charity, you're not paying that charity for the games. You're donating your money to charity and getting those games for doing so. Well, you've not paid for those games, but you own them now. So that would be piracy. Which I honestly think things like that is why piracy is such a complex topic for people. And I know every time I talk about it, I always have the thought in the back of my head of I should talk about Game Dev Tycoon. Because Game Dev Tycoon did an interesting thing with its launch when it launched. The developers released their own copy of Game Dev Tycoon onto Pirate Bay. And it had a little quirk to it where, well, this looks like a new fish. Barreled knife jaw. You have to see. It had a little quirk to it where eventually, no matter how good your games were, your company would eventually get shut down by piracy. And everyone looks at that game, Game Dev Tycoon, as the perfect example as to why piracy is so bad. I know at least 8 people who purchased Game Dev Tycoon who also pirated it to see if they could actually get past the little quirk. And, you know, still succeed in the game on the pirated copy. And they would play it alongside their legitimate copy. A lot of the numbers on how many people pirated Game Dev Tycoon are slanted because literally day one, news broke that the developers uploaded their own torrented copy of the game. I didn't mean to do that early. I thought it was about to go down. I'd kind of lost count. But, like, I don't know why people don't see how biased that is in a way. I mean, it's like inviting thieves into your store to steal things. And having the news drop that you invited thieves into your store to, you know, steal things, and you have, you know, higher than average numbers of people showing up at your store to steal things. Like, you're opening the door and telling them, come steal my stuff. Here's the keys to the store. And then acting shocked when people come and steal from your store. Like, am I the only one that thinks that's completely insane? I mean, honestly, from reading news articles, I must be. Because there are so many people who are like, yeah, this is a perfect example why piracy's bad. Like, no, this is the perfect example why giving people a free copy of your game is bad. I mean, I could probably, if I went through my Steam list, point out a good 6 or 7 games that, on their release, had, like, a week where if you downloaded the game, you got to keep it for free. And those games, or game studios, have crashed or closed down because they gave away their game for free. Everyone who was interested in getting their game got it for free. Who's left to pay for it? Everyone who cared about the game got it for free. Because even if they wanted to pay for it, they couldn't. Because it was free to download on Steam. They would literally have to create, if they wanted to actually pay for the game, if they wanted to play it, you know, when it came out and had one of these free weeks going on, they would have had to have created a separate Steam account after that week was over to purchase the game, just to give the developers money. If you want to give your game away for free, you should never do it close to your game's launch. Because even if you wait like a month, well, now you're just going to catch people like me who aren't going to buy your game on day one. You need to wait at least a few years if you want to give your game away for free. And giving your game away for free is good marketing for a next game in the series. Like, say, if I was making, I don't know, generic RPG, and I knew 2 years down the road, like, once I released it, I was going to immediately start working on generic RPG 2. If I figured it was going to take me about 2 years to make the game, I would, about the time I'm getting ready to release generic RPG 2, I'd give away generic RPG 1 for free. And have an update to generic RPG 1, pointing out that there's a new game in the series coming soon. That literally gives you free marketing for your next game. Because, well, oh geez, everything I have is actually worth a fair little bit. I'll release the dab, I think it's worth the least. Like, people need to know that your game is coming. And you giving your game away for free isn't going to cost you anything. It might cost you potential income, but it's not going to make you lose out on any money. Right, I wanted to head to the museum here first, see if we have a barrel knife jaw. And if you release an update saying, hey, Generic RPG 2 is coming next month at such and such a date, that, because you're releasing your game for free, a lot more people are gonna pick it up and play it, because, hey, it's a free game, why not? And on top of more people playing it, you've now advertised to every single one of those people who picked it up to play it that your new game is coming next month. The fans of Generic RPG are going to already know your game is coming next month, so it's not gonna you're not gonna need to advertise to them. It still helps to remind them, oh yeah, that game's coming out next month. But if I released Generic RPG, and then within the first month I'm giving it away for free... Wait, I didn't see it in the list. Oh, I must have scrolled right past it. I think I do this a lot with the barrel knife jocks. I never remember fishing it up. Like, it's such a silly thing to me. Like, I know that if I give away something for free within the first week of making it, or the first month even, that I'm going to lose out on a lot of money for making that thing. That's just basic business. Especially if it's something like a game. Especially if it's something like a game that looks and plays well. I mean, one of the ones, I cannot remember its name off the top of my head. I'm actually going to... I know I'm just going to be standing in Nooks here for a second, but I need to see if I can actually find it really quick. Fractured Space. Just found it. Fractured Space, within, I believe it was, honestly, its launch week. Like, literally the day it released onto Steam. It gave itself away for free. This was back in 2015. That game, like the developers on it, are still actively working on fixing some things, but they have run into financial difficulties. And they had to introduce, I believe, if I'm remembering the game exactly right, they had to basically introduce a cash market in the game to try and make some money off of all of those people that just bought their game, not even bought their game, but just got their game for free. Hey darling, there's something I want to ask you, Gotta Go Fest. If I told you I had a blue... Kotasu? Blue Kotasu. How much would you pay me for it? I don't know exactly what it is, but I'll say that. Wow, it must be pretty popular then. Thanks for giving me your opinion about that, Gotta Go Fest. I don't know what that is! I just also realized I've been literally recording for 35 minutes now. I should probably end today's episode off. I kind of ranted long enough about games. If you can't tell, I'm pretty passionate about games in the games industry. I want to be a game dev, as well as being a teacher. I feel I could probably do both things at once. But yeah. With that, I would like to remind everyone I do have a Patreon, should you wish to throw money at me. And with that said, thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time for more Animal Crossing City Folk. See you all then.